Welcome to another episode of Harbor Rock Wealth Management's Planning Tip. My name is Ruben Smith, and I'm joined by my good friend and partner, Jimmy Lester. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. Glad to
Hello.
be here.
Today, we're going to talk about something that I think we could talk for hours on, and it's the idea of being rich versus being wealthy. So, what's the difference?
Whew.
A lot there.
So right off the bat, when I hear that, I think I think of being rich as temporary potentially. I think it sounds newer. It
Okay.
sounds more money driven specifically.
Like zeros. How many zeros do you have after your
Yeah,
name?
yeah. And that's a whole nother topic. Like how many what's is there a standard societal definition of how many zeros need to be in there before you're rich? Um, I think of riches being a thing.
Okay.
I think of I think of wealth as older. If we're talking in financial like money terms,
Right.
I think of wealth as you are you are you are covered in many different areas.
Like wisdom,
Yeah, I mean,
fulfillment.
well, have you ever heard of the term rich of knowledge? I haven't. Wealth of knowledge? I have.
That's a good point. That's a
So
good point.
something like that. I think wealth goes is a deeper. I think the wealthy can be rich,
Sure.
but the rich aren't always wealthy.
Hmm. Okay.
So
Well,
if I've confused anyone else,
no. I like it. I like it because we always say, "What's your wealth without your health?" And I think that that's not necessarily that. Okay, I got a good heart and all this stuff. It's your health is your overall. It's an overall body of work, right? It's your personal connections, whether it's with family, it's your fulfillment that you or friends or socially. It's are you at peace with where you're at that point in your life?
yeah,
It's a lot of balance, right?
yep,
Uh,
yeah,
so that's I think where as financial advisors we're trying to I think our goal well I know our goal is to get clients to reach what we call financial independence
mhm,
and then allow them to maintain that financial independence. When that happens, we remove the stresses of needing to accumulate more off of their shoulders. Regardless of what's going on in the economy, the market, the world, they don't need to focus on that like they did maybe when they were accumulating.
I think that's a great place to start there. I think of it as if we took as we do our clients and anyone that we talk to and said, give me a few things that you really want to have nailed down. Like you really want them. Like you want to have another property, or you want to
Mm-hmm.
have your home paid off, or like what would make you feel good. Then how do you get there? Or I've heard some people say, man, I have 15 grandchildren and I'm the wealthiest, that
Yeah.
I'm the richest man in the planet.
Right. Right.
That makes
Right.
so okay.
Yeah.
So do you create your own definition of riches? Like
Well, I think I have a bias there, and it's
so there's clearly not one definition.
no, but I think it's everyone has their own definition. It's a matter of finding what that definition is,
Yeah.
and being content with what that is.
I'm going to use someone like, and we'll get to the guts here,
Sure.
but this is a topic that we
Yeah.
could literally sit here and just, who knows? It would be dark. It's light out now. It would be dark out when we left. But I'm going to use someone that we've had on the show quite a bit, and I hold in high regard, Jake Jerome.
Sure.
When I think of rich in knowledge and peace and somebody that has kind of simplified life, doesn't mean he doesn't participate. He has a job, he has a family, he pays taxes, he pays bills, he's got a mortgage, all these things. Yeah, just like I do, you do, our clients. But somehow Jake navigates to carry himself in a way that is magnetic and infectious and someone you want to be around.
Right.
Well, I know some other people that I don't want to be anywhere near them because they just have a cloud over them. And they may have a whole bunch of money and nice cars and all these things, but is that truly the definition of you take a miserable person
Mm-hmm.
who's a mid-income earner their whole life and they're happy as a clam and you're like, how did they
Yeah.
how are they just good with that, and
Right.
they're like, are you kidding me? I had a wonderful time going to work in my career and I helped people and I had great friends. And you're like, yeah, but don't you want like the home in Kauai, that you can travel
Yeah.
to, like your neighbor, and like, or you can have the flip and they have all that stuff and you're like, they seem miserable and grumpy. I I'd be happy with all
Well,
those
I think
things.
it's
So
I think the
it's clearly not the definition.
if you're accumulating and you're aggressively wanting to accumulate and find riches, like you said earlier, I think that is more transactional.
Yeah.
Because once you obtain whatever
Then
that
what?
goal was, now what? Now you
Now,
want more.
now
Now you want more, and I think that does get you off track from identifying what it is that truly holds value, and I think uh, probably how we feel the same way. I think it's more balance, it's more peace of mind, it's more appreciation for what you have, and not what you. There's no need to continue to get to a certain place. So,
yeah.
um,
Secret of life moment, kind of like
well,
finding out what's going to satisfy your put you in a level of peace and fulfillment early as possible.
sure. Well, I came across a story, and it was a study of retirees, and basically what group of retirees were the happiest. When you get to retirement, if you ask someone, when you get to retirement, do you want to be happy? Yes, you're going to get 100%. I would hope
Yeah.
100% of the people saying yes. Well, when they were interviewed as to what made them happy, it had nothing to do with money.
Mm.
Had nothing to do with it. It wasn't because they had 10 digits in a bank account or whatever.
Or had a bunch of things.
Yeah, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with
So what was it about?
their net worth. It was about the connections that they had and the balance that they had in their life.
Mm.
So it was social, it was family connections, it was they love to volunteer. And we talked to a client yesterday who loves to volunteer with an organization that's really near and dear to her. And it's like that's what it's about. And I think perhaps the earlier you can identify what has value,
Mm.
that's the earlier you will become wealthy.
Yeah, it's almost, and we say often that like time's the greatest commodity.
Sure.
Well, you can't create more of it, but you can make it feel that way by doing more things that aren't distracting you from what drive your sense of wealth and fulfillment.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think getting back to this whole getting back to the study, it was what did they miss when they were interviewed? What did they miss about being in the workforce?
Yeah.
It wasn't about the ability. It wasn't about the missed paycheck.
It wasn't the kill, the sale.
It wasn't the ability to add to their net worth or put more money into 401k, or it was, oh, I missed the group of people I worked with.
Yeah.
I was in the trenches with them, or we did. You think about it. You go to work, you spend a lot of time with the people you work with.
Yeah, we say more there than
we
at
know
home.
that.
Yeah.
we spend. So they miss the social connection and the friendships and all that.
Okay.
So getting back to rich versus wealthy, I see it as rich being more short term, maybe more of a hunting mentality. Like keep accumulating, adding zeros to your net worth. I don't think it necessarily gives you fulfillment or long term fulfillment.
I don't think rich takes discipline. Wealth takes discipline.
Sure.
Building.
Humility. It takes humility.
Yeah, it takes a plan.
Right.
It takes a plan. It takes time.
I like that.
You build wealth. You don't build rich. It's rich again seems cheaper, temporary. I don't think rich has a good connotation.
Yeah.
Like if you say that's a really wealthy family, there's a level of respect there.
Sure.
If you say, oh, those guys are rich,
Yeah,
it's almost a negative. There's definitely a negative connotation.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know,
I can see
whether
that.
that's true or not or whatever, but you find $1 on the street. I'm rich.
Yeah.
I'm wealthy. Nope.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
it just helps to kind of think of it in real life terms.
So when getting back to this survey or this study, it was when they were asked about why they felt wealthy in retirement, it was because they didn't have any regrets. They don't have any regrets. They're able to,
What a way to live.
they're in a place where they can focus only on what brings them joy, or what gives them that fulfillment. And it's like, isn't that what this is about?
Peace, fulfillment. How do I get it?
So the earlier you can find that, the better. And look at us. If you look at Harbor Rock,
Yeah.
3 years ago, I mean, we were not in a bad place, a negative place financially.
No, you never would have looked at us and went like, oh, they're really struggling.
Or socially, right?
Yeah.
Surrounded by friends and family that we love and
Totally.
great connections. Professionally, I would say we were not in the healthiest of places. I would say we were not in balance. We were not wealthy professionally, and I think we are now.
Yeah.
The 100 some odd households that
Thank you
we're
all.
fortunate enough to help and manage.
Yeah.
I think the sooner we can find this, the sooner that our clients can find this, the sooner that all of you watching this can find truly what you think is going to bring you that wealth. I think, there you go.
And in a good way, the days get longer.
Maybe we're selling ourselves out of a job here. Let's be honest, because a big component of what we do is help clients accumulate, but to an extent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but and I think one of the, I think the point of this show, this episode, is everyone needs to define what wealthy means to you.
Sure.
And the sooner you can define that, doesn't mean it's over. Those things might change. Your priorities might change down the road, and that's fine. But the sooner you can take a few key things that are going to make you feel peace, make you see colors the brightest you've ever seen them, make the days longer in a good way, and diminish the distractions that are keeping you there, that gives you a little simplification towards finding the secret to life.
Sure.
It all of a sudden you love a little harder. You you have to sit in your feelings a little bit more. Yeah, but those things are all positives to your health, your wealth. They're all connected.
Yeah. And I don't expect anybody coming right out of college or in their 20s or 30s really to grasp that.
No, we don't need Dalai Lama kind of thinking at 19 years old.
You need experience. You need experiences.
Yes.
To give you some perspective, and you need those experiences will allow you to define what it is that would create your wealth, right?
Interesting topic.
Yeah, no, I like this. And every once in a while we get off, we go down.
We go deep space.
Yeah. And I think it's okay. I mean, I firsthand I was going through the motions, right? Professionally, personally, I was going through the motions based off of what I felt I needed to do from a social standpoint, and maybe my focus was on more on rich versus actually finding wealth or fulfillment.
Totally. And to that note too, since we're already veering and going deeper,
sure.
Think about like your doctors. Like if you doctors, lawyers, anyone that's, you think, in quotes, in a respected sense of power, that you make yourself vulnerable to and you rely on their advice for very important things in your life, to be able to watch them talk about their own health and some of their own vulnerabilities, and that, I like to see that.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel better about my life, because you wonder, I wonder if my doctor ever smoked, or do they drink, or do they eat pizza and ice cream, or do they just sit there and tell me these things, and or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't eat tacos like I do, or some of your vices, or that late night piece of chocolate or whatever. I mean, but it makes you feel good. You're like, they're real. Like
Your cardiologist passed away from a heart attack.
totally. I want to see my cardiologist. I don't have one, but when I do have a cardiologist, eating the biggest bacon sandwich you've ever seen, and yeah, having a milkshake and something like that. And they're like,
Oh, you're human.
you got to enjoy a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think this
moderation.
is us talking about this too. Our people put a lot of trust in us.
Sure.
And they rely on us to the point where, some of them are like, look, I trust you guys, and that's why I'm with you. But we have a job to do, and we have processes that behind the scenes that keep that going and sustain that level of trust and comfort.
Yeah.
But we're just like you, everybody.
Well, I think this is a great
same battles.
I couldn't agree more. When we don't have clients in the office, this is the stuff we talk about.
This is
why we're talking about it here, because we think it's an interesting conversation.
Yes.
And it's a good I guess, way for clients to just see us more and see us in the raw, if you will, right?
Absolutely.
And like who we really are and how we think. And but it applies to more than that, because we also, and I'll end it on this, is we find ourselves more similar ever since we opened Harbor Rock to our clients than we ever realized we were.
Yeah.
We want to get our clients to financial independence, call it obtain that level of wealth and balance in their lives. Well, we want the same thing. We may be at a different stage in their life and our lives as them.
Yeah.
But we want the same things.
Yeah.
And so we truly are in partnership with our clients.
Yeah, we learn as much from them as we do
Absolutely.
they do from us.
Absolutely. Well, good stuff. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions about this or any other topics, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll catch you next time.